Hello everyone, I'm back with another LEGO Transformers video, and today we have World War II Starscream. So, getting right into it, yeah, I didn't do the stupid movie, World War II colours thing, because it's stupid. Cybertronians keep their colour scheme regardless of what vehicle they scan. Like, I hated that the Bayverse made it out to be like, oh, they have to just scan a vehicle that's the exact same colour as them, and it's like, it makes no sense. It's stupid. It's one thing I did like about Rise of the Beast is when Mirage scans stuff, he keeps his colours, and it's like, thank you. Although Mirage just annoyed me so much in that movie. Not the characterization, but some of the stuff he does that makes no sense. Especially like, oh, look at me, I'm going to do this, and then just like turns into something he shouldn't physically be capable of. But anyway, ignoring my gripes for that movie, because I'll probably annoy people that are like, oh, it's the best movie ever. Here we have Starscream as a Spitfire plane. So the whole premise of this is, instead of landing on Earth during the 80s, they all landed on Earth around like the mid to late 1930s, maybe a little bit later than that. Around like late 30s, early 40s, when like World War II was just hitting its height. The Decepticons landed smack bang in the middle of Germany. And they were kind of flying around and looking around, trying to find stuff to scan. And Starscream happened to have come across a downed Spitfire and scanned that. And that was the vehicle that he ended up with. So, a lot of people kind of like. I did have like a friend point out to me when I was originally designing the character to be a Spitfire, saying like, if they're in Germany and they're kind of fighting alongside German soldiers, whereas because they're basically just Megatron's manipulating the German army somewhat and like convincing them, yeah, I'm on your side, just to get them to help him. Wouldn't they scan German vehicles? But they're aliens. How are they going to know what isn't a German? They don't even know what Germany is. As far as they're concerned, everywhere is like Germany, and that's like German's just the language of Earth. And German is just like what you refer to the people of the planet as. Like, they don't know, they're aliens. Pretending aliens just have this in-depth knowledge of what's going on is kind of stupid. But anyway, I like the vehicle. I like the idea of like Starscream being a Spitfire, because I like it works well with her bright colors, or his bright colors. It depends. I kind of designed my Starscream to be very like ambiguous gender wise, and it's kind of like you can pick whatever you care about. If you for some reason really care about the gender of a giant robot, I'm not going to get into gender politics because I'll probably upset conservatives that can't handle that people should just be allowed to be themselves and exist. But anyway, oh no, my video is definitely made for children. Oh no, I'm grooming the children by stating a basic fact about human rights. But ignoring that and getting back to the robot, the amount of people that probably just clicked off because I've barely covered it, the vehicle mode's a little bit janky. Like, she's got some really nice bits. Like, I adore the way the wings and the front works, although it's got a little bit of jankiness that can sort of be. I mean, you could do it that way, but that is hideous because you get a huge lump. And the front of the Spitfire is supposed to be mostly flat. I mean, it does bump up a little bit, but can't really do much about that with the way she transforms. Is really awkward, as you'll see when we get to the transformation. But the tail has got a gap here, which, yeah, I wish it didn't, but I can't really do much about it without making her backpack even more bulky. And she or he or whatever. I'm gonna use she, because that's what I had in mind when designing her. Is pretty janky. She's got a little bit of chub as well around like the bottom of the vehicle, but it's mostly streamlined to fit. The wings I'm very happy with though, and yeah, I know usually the Spitfire the guns probably aren't mounted here. That's just a Starscream thing with the null rays. Oh god, I'm gonna take the null rays off so you can see like what it would look like without them. Because honestly, I think without them, she looks so much better. It's why I don't mind the idea of just leaving them off to the side and ignoring them, because this just looks so much better. You could also leave them on during the transformation. They'd just be on the tail, which might not actually be the worst thing. I mean, they just end up kind of awkward in my opinion. Hang on. I'll put them on and you guys can kind of just decide whether you think it's awkward or not. I personally think it's extremely awkward and intrusive on the design to have them in this position. But if you wanted to, for whatever reason, you could leave them on her arms. But then you get this... It looks really intrusive and I don't like it. So I opt to take them off and just leave them to one side. Anyway, getting to her transformation, which is the... not fun. Especially getting the wings on her back is a nightmare. This isn't her actual chest, which I should also point out. This is technically a bit of faux forming, but there was no way of thinning this down to get her waist area and shit the way I wanted it. But anyway, transforming her, we're gonna split the tail, and we're gonna come up to the tail. We're gonna fold these, angle them, and collapse them in. Like that. Then there is also, if you could find a way to not have to parts on this, like I would have loved a slider, you can also leave this off and just accept that gap. For now, I'm just kind of, you move it on a stud. If someone could figure out a better way to do that without making it overly bulky and ruining the design, be my guest. But I'm just going to accept a little bit of parts forming here and there. Then I'm going to just hinge the nose up and splay the nose open, which reveals, I guess you say it's a bumhole, really. Say well, that's whatever it is, because like that is on the waist and it's a hole. But we're then gonna bring the legs out from under the vehicle mode and spin the legs around the wrong way, apparently. Spin the legs around and then just kind of angle them down like that, and that will later be the waist. We're then going to come to the back here, and this is where you see like the faux forming part because of the design I wanted, and we're going to deal with the wings. So this is where it gets really breaky and annoying. They're on these three-way ball joints, and they just, oh god. Yep, that is already... I'm just going to transform the wings off screen and explain what happens with them, because, like, oh, jeez, they're so annoying, is the only reason why. And then basically going to explain what happens with the wings. So, they're on these triple ball joints, and so which connect to the base of the jet, the side of the nose, and then the wing itself. And you're basically just kind of flipping and rotating to get it into this position. So these parts kind of form the sides of her body. And the wings kind of extend off of that. We'll leave the wings where they are for a second, though. We'll just kind of lay them flat like that, because that's really what you want to do while transforming her. Can then bring the legs into place, and we're going to just ratchet the propeller up like that. Then going to come to the arms and just hinge them down at the shoulders. We'll deal with those in a second because they look stupid right now. We're then going to, the only reason this panel had to move up like that was so this could rotate and actually have clearance. We're then basically going to rotate that, bring it down, and form her backpack, which, yeah, it is kind of bad. And we can then hinge up the wings. And kind of, you can adjust them however you want. I like to angle them back a little bit, because it also just kind of helps to hide the backpack a little bit. But then we can rotate the forearms. Not the upper arms. Oh god, the backpack is just really unruly to deal with. You then need to use the backs of the null rays as a tool to just kind of push the hands so you can get them out. Or you could just leave the hands out and just have them hanging off the back of the vehicle, but I chose to not do that because that was an easy solution for it. We're then going to come to the feet and two clicks to form her shoes, sort of like her heels, I guess, and then flip the head up. And then I'm just going to take her off screen for a second because I'm literally just fiddling with the backpack to get it to sit in a better position, kind of thing. So rotate the propeller around. And then what you got to do is just take the null rays, use the stud to just stud them onto the upper arm. So you do technically kind of have to take them off because you need to stud them onto, not the upper arm, like the upper part of the forearm. And then rotate them around so they clank against the bicep. And then we have Starscream being really annoying. Can you stop doing this, please? She's like, just... I don't transform this figure that often because of this, which sucks because I do actually really like her alt mode. Honestly, I'd say I'd maybe even like it more than the robot mode if it wasn't for all the gaps. Oh, and now I've got to mistransform the wings slightly because a panel just broke off. This is why, like, I mentioned in the Wheeljack video, like, I might make videos on how to build some of my Transformers. This is not one of them, because it is so frustrating to transform her. She is incredibly annoying, incredibly easy to break in some spots, and just wants to constantly clash and get in the way of herself, especially the wing transformation. It's not fun. But, end result, move the camera back slightly so you can get her into frame. Not bad. The exposure refuses to work on my camera. Hold on. I'm just going to turn the exposure right down and then get this on max brightness, sort of. This is literally the best I can do exposure-wise. It's always going to have like a glare because I can't fix that at all. I can just kind of do that, and that's the best I can get. And just kind of... No, because that's how my videos used to look. I had the exposure, like, in the middle. Now I just tend to have it all the way down. And it never wants to focus instead. But put her next to a minifigure. Didn't do that in vehicle mode, but it is a minifigure scale build. And I consider all of my stuff minifigure scale, but some of it isn't. Some of it is very undersized, like Megatron is in his alt mode. Optimus kind of is for a truck, whereas like someone like Motomaster is not. Motomaster's huge. Scourge, if you ignore him being like an actual semi-truck and like treated by like a long pickup truck, is actually in scale as a pickup. But no, there she is next to a minifigure. And I won't bring in Megatron because he's an arse to get off the display right now. And also a spoiler for his video, which we don't want to do. But, oh god, he's super wobbly, but we will bring in fellow Decepticon, Shockwave. Also, because Shockwave is an ocean vehicle, so it's kind of fun to see him together. Shockwave is very large. This Starscream is pretty small. She's a little bit smaller than Optimus and Megatron. So, like, I consider that scaled. But, Shockwave is just tall. I will also do a video on Shockwave, because Shockwave is a really fun and unique design that... I mean, submarines aren't very common alt modes for characters. And he is really fun with the way his submarine works. His transformation's really strange. And I love him because of it. But anyway, although he does also have the backpack. The backpack surprisingly isn't a lot of vehicle chunk though, which is weird. But get rid of Shockwave. I'm gonna see if do I have any other flying characters? Not really is the answer. Oh yeah, that works I guess. The only other plane that I have on the display, Powerglide. Who, of course, I'm pretty sure I showed this off in the video on him. He's got a little heart. I love that. He has a little heart in there. But this video is not about you, Powerglide. This is about Starscream. And I'm very happy with this design. She turned out great. She's not the only she's not the only other plane. I can't grab him because he's like pinned. But I've got Mayhem as well, who's an original character. He's like a little biplane, but he's currently pinned on the display. When I say pinned, he's got like the Quintesson attacking him and they're posed together. And like I'd have to move so many characters to get to him. So I'm not going to for a while. But yeah, this has been Articulation. I'm just gonna point. I don't really need to show it off because it is my standard articulation. If you've seen one of my videos, you've seen most of the articulation for the most part, especially when it comes to these larger characters. So ball joint, not really impeded in any way. No wrist swivel. Ball joint at the head, can't look up much unless you fiddle with a backpack. I mean, I can show you her range up. It's a slight tilt. She can look very far down though. Legs, ball joint, ratchet at the toes, but it doesn't do much. It's just there for transformation. And her wings are ball jointed as well. So if you want to do like the Transformers Prime thing of expressive, you can do that. So you can have her like, I don't know, frightened by pointing them down, or like have them in like the neutral pose. You can't really flare them up a lot though. I do kind of go for the Prime look a lot with like the way the wings are and like the skinniness of the limbs, but she's got a little bit of G1 in there and a little bit more chunk. Especially in the way like her shoulders are actually really bulky for Starscream. Like compared to like Optimus has much slimmer shoulders, ignoring like his huge panels. They come off at 4 studs. Hers come off at 6. It's a really weird but also kind of fun thing. Just for shits and giggles. I mean, I'm just rambling right now, but just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna do a fun comparison of bringing in Menasor. Just because I can grab Menasor and put him behind her. And he is going to fall and destroy her. Oh god. I'm gonna have to hold him. But as you can see, yeah, he is huge. There is already a video up on all of his components as like one video, and then the combination process as another video if you want to see this beast. Because he is truly an awesome figure. And that isn't just me telling you should go watch my stuff. He's another one where he most likely will never get instructions because, like, there's a lot, especially with, like, Motor Master, he's very dense, making up the mass of the figure. But, anyway, enough of my rambling. You guys can get back to more important stuff instead of, like, watching my videos and doom scrolling YouTube, which is, like, probably the only way you found me. Unless you're already subscribed, in which case, thank you for subscribing to me and, for some reason, dealing with my bullshit. If you want to subscribe or like or whatever, go ahead. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to ask you to. It's up to you. But, that being said, if you enjoyed the video, you enjoyed it. If you disliked the video, I'm not surprised. If you have any recommendations for characters you want to see built next, let me know. Chances are I might have already built them and just haven't done a video on them yet. Or if you scroll, I've already done a video, so please quickly scroll through my channel before leaving recommendations for characters. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video, which will be... I usually leave a less like guess at what it will be next, or like it may or may not be that because I don't actually know. Could be anyone really that I haven't covered yet. Could be the Insecticons. Could be Earth Mode Megatron. Could be the long-fabled Beast Wars-styled Overlord. Could be I actually think I've already covered Unicron. I can't remember. Could be Shockwave. Shockwave's one I have had for a while. Could be... Okay, I've run out of characters to say it could be, really, but I've covered most of the ones I have. Could even be original Beast Wars styled Optimus Primal, where he's a bat instead of a gorilla. That one's a fun build. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video. That could be anything. You never know. You could even you could even suggest something, and I could take in that suggestion. I'm gonna go about my day off work and enjoy it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.